Actually, it started over coffee with some guys back in 1993, and we had coffee conversations for the following months. And in November, December of '94, we decided it was time to take action. And in the springtime of '95, we contacted Father Carl Vogel at St. Michael's and told him what we'd like to do and asked him for his support. He gave us the support, and from there we formed a committee of about 12 men and women and started work on the project. We did our demographics of the area. We sent out surveys to all the Catholic families in Collin County that were not going to church here. We asked that the pastors of those churches send us their names and addresses if they were in our zip code, and they did. With that, we sent out surveys to all these families, seeing if there was an interest in a new church. And we immediately received about 500 back, completed that they wanted to participate, wanted a church, and so forth. So with that information, we contacted the diocese and asked if we could make a presentation to them. And part of our requirement was that they take a bus tour of McKinney so we could show them where the growth was in McKinney and what the potential growth was. And they agreed. So we did our bus tour, then we went, I think it was Prince of Peace, made our presentation with the leaders of the diocese that made those decisions on new parishes. And then it was wait. And we waited and waited and waited and tried to correspond with them, tried to make phone calls, but they didn't respond back. In May of 2006, we received a letter from the Bishop Grauman approving us for a church and a school and a new priest. And from there we had this was a kind of a scary part too, because we were very excited about that, but then it dawned on us that we had no place for the priest to live, we didn't have a place for the priest to worship, and we had no money. But we had a lot of faith. This McKinney School District provided us a place to worship. We worshiped in probably 10 different schools in McKinney and other churches. And at our first Mass, there was about 600 people that attended. So we were off and running. And from there, it's history. It was wonderful.
Well, there's very little to add other than, as far as I'm concerned, just being a small part of the foundation of this community has just been one of the highlights of my life, and it was great for Perry and I to be able to share this work together.
I think it's important to me. It's just such a wonderful community and such an active group of parishioners. We've got 100 ministries. A lot of people are participating when you have 100 ministries. And the parishioners here, they walk the walk. They really step up to the plate. And I just look forward not only to being able to worship here, but to be able to be with them throughout the week.
Well, actually, at this stage of our life, we have had such a sense of community. I think in all the parishes that we have belonged to, this is the first time we've ever experienced that sense of community, and we're comfortable here. We're comfortable with the community. We're comfortable with we're comfortable with our God and our faith, and it's just a good, warm, fuzzy place to be.
Well, I don't know if there's anything specific there. I'm telling you what, there's so many from that group of about 12 men and women, and the faith that they had, because we had controversy. We were told that in the beginning that there were no priests available, there was no money available, we should back off, and these people just, the faith that they had, the persistence was just great. And then from the first Mass that we attended, and I mean all the way from our trips to Ecuador on the Working Boy Center to Mission Mexico, and seeing our youth grow up. And Donna, I'm taking things probably from you, but there's just been many. I don't, and they're all treasures.
Well, from the planting the first tree to the first Mass to the first Holy Week to being blessed with awesome spiritual leader, to our sense of community, from taking baby steps to leaps, from start to finish. It's just been really something. I shouldn't say finish, to this point. It was, for me, it was just a sense of fulfillment. We as a community had all worked so hard, and to come in here and see the fruits of our labor was just, it was a sense of pride for everyone. I was proud of myself for being a part of it, and I was proud of everybody else. We made it. It was great. You know, I'm not a person of graphs and charts and things like that, but Perry insists that you always look at the financial part of it, and we do. But I would say after you look at all the finances and the charts and the graphs and everything that you need to look at, that you need to realize who we're building this house for. And then you need to tighten your belt, pray, and just take a leap of faith, because it happens. If we hadn't done that 11 years ago, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Well, yeah, I agree with all that.
Men look at it a little differently.
Yeah, I would suggest that, you know, as a family, you sit down and you know the numbers, and you know where the numbers are going to take you, and you share this with your children. The children should be, you know, if they're of age, should be a part of this. In fact, they should allow the children to give on their own to learn it. And then I think a family should pray together about it. And I know it's an opportunity to give a kind of above and beyond what your normal giving is, and it's not based on equal giving, it's based on equal sacrifice. And it is a sacrifice. And in a sense, it's the story of the mango trees that Father Kelly has told several hundred times. It's planting that seed, and that's what we're doing. And then have faith, because it'll all happen if everyone participates. There's no gift too large, and there's no gift too small. Everyone should be able to participate in it, and we'll make it.
We've been blessed to watch all the children grow for the last 11 years, and I think we've planted quite a few mango seeds with these children. And I feel that when it's their time to step up to the plate and take over running this awesome community, that they're going to be ready for it. And that's what I look forward to.
Yeah, you know, initially when it started, I think the people involved in it wanted to better serve the Catholic community. It wasn't, or we wouldn't have had people going to Mass, you know, over 2 counties. They wanted them to serve in the community here in their home. And so I want to see that continue, that with the growth of the church and so forth. And we've got a lot of new young people that are moving into leadership roles. And I just wish they were more that would step forward and more slots become available, because it's really, I think, a time of the changing of the guard. And we've got some wonderful talent. And Donna talked about the children. Our children are awesome, and they're being properly trained, and blink and they'll be ready. It's time. So that's what we want to see, just continued growth.
I would remind them how blessed they are just to be here in this community, because the community in itself is just a blessing. And then I would ask them to take a few minutes to think about taking ownership in this community, and the pride that they would get with taking the ownership. It's just a great feeling, really is.
Can recall at my age, we've been in a lot of Catholic churches in our marriage, and that's 50 years of marriage. And when before we came to St. Gabriel's, we realized, not until a little bit later on in life, but then we fully realized that every place that we had attended our worship services, someone else had built it, and someone else had done the work. And so we not only want to see those things continue now and for our community now, but for the future. And if people haven't participated in those things, they just can't imagine the feeling and the rewards for doing that. And I think it's based on faith.
I thought of one other thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they have the Sunday where the leaders of the ministries carry all the banners up to the altar. And we have 80-something ministries. And I would think that a new parishioner, when they see all these banners being carried up at the front, would realize what an opportunity they have to join and be a part of this community and share in the pride of these ministries.